if you guys like this video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you guys are interested in a personal session, check out my website, readingswithbreanne.com. Let's dive into the topic for today.
Hello, beautiful souls. How are you guys doing? How are you guys keeping up during these intense energies? We've just had the Lionsgate portal, and today I'm filming on the 11th, which again is another really powerful day. And I'm looking forward to doing a tarot reading and crystal ball gaze for you guys. Now, I thought today I would take a couple different topics. I had some messages coming in. One was in regards to military tribunals, and I had a recent message also from a dear friend, Breanne, here today, and she was asking about a tarot reading when it comes to this meteorite. So I just Googled it as well, and about, I don't know, these reports are about 10-12 hours ago, but it looks like there's a meteor that burned across the Australian night sky, and she said that it fell down yesterday in Victoria, and it's made quite a bit of a ruckus. So this is quite new energy. I just wanted to see what messages are coming out and see if we can dive a little bit deeper into that. So with that being said, let's dive into some tarot readings for today. Now, if I have time, I'm also going to do a bit of a follow-up for Canada, but I might do that one in its own separate video. We'll kind of see, because that's been a topic that has come up from a couple people now. So let's dive in. Where shall we start? Let's start with this meteorite that fell in Australia. Now, looking online, there has been quite a few, I guess, cameras that have captured this meteorite in the sky. So let's take a look here, but there is lots of people reporting quite a loud sonic boom here. In this one article I'm looking at, it does say, he said this sonic boom from meteors were rare, with Australia recording only 1 or 2 events like this a year. Descriptions of it have found to sound like thunder to it literally sounding like an explosion. So let's dive into this specific one. Spirit, what can you share with this meteorite that fell in Australia? What's the overall energy, underlying energy to this meteorite? Let's see. We've got the cards talking, but they flipped around. Interesting. We have the flame. And some of the videos that I just watched, you could see like this ball of light going and shooting through the sky, the vow, and we have the shapeshifter. That's an interesting combo. Back of the deck is the castle. That shapeshifter threw me off a little bit. Shapeshifter. All right, Spirit, what can you share about the underlying energy of this recent so-called meteorite in Australia? What's the energy underneath this? Totally random comment, but I haven't looked into the royal family for a while, and this combo is my royal family combo, so interesting. We have the King of Pentacles. Interesting. Wheel of Fortune. 8 of Swords with the past. 6 of Wands. 9 of Swords, but that one did come out in reverse, so we have to take it. Got a few more reversals. 4 of Swords. And the Page of Pentacles. Back of the deck, there's that Lionsgate Leo energy again, you guys. That energy is still very potent coming in here. Now, as always, you guys, please use your discernment. I'm going to share something that might sound a little crazy, but this is definitely not what I expected when we pulled this. So let's dive in here. I'm going to spend a few moments in the crystal ball as well, but I'm going to actually pull another oracle as well. When we look at this, my big question too was like, okay, let's ask the basic in my head. Is this an actual meteorite? Is there more to it? What's going on? I do not see this as actually being a meteorite, you guys. Look at this. There's something about with this shapeshifter. and having this King of Pentacles in the placement of the meteor here, this is being disguised as a meteor falling, but it's not actually one. Again, my perspective. Okay, please take it or leave it, you guys. You guys can let me know what your perspective is. I always love to hear your guys' side too. So let me pull a few more cards here, because I do not see this as, like, to me, this is something to do with some kind of a man-made situation, or like undercover operation. Okay, so we have the fish, and let's take one more. Interesting. We have the ship, and there was the whips that wanted to come out as well. So I guess we'll keep that on the back of the deck here. All right, you guys. I'm going to take a moment to see what I can get in the crystal ball. All right, so kind of interesting, because the first thing that really comes up is it almost looked like gold dust. Now, I'm not sure if that was actually dust on the crystal ball, but to me, it almost looked like shimmering gold dust. So quite interesting. Now, let me know what you guys think. This sounds a little out there, but this is what I'm getting from this energy and from what I'm seeing. I keep seeing something orbiting, and I can't keep my eye off this Wheel of Fortune. There's something about it's not a ship per se from what I'm getting, but it's a part. It's like what I'm getting is I can relate this to like as a maybe a modular component or some kind of component of a ship here, okay? And from what I can see, this is going way, way back. And it definitely has like connections to actual physical individuals. I don't get that this is just a meteorite, you guys. Okay, my perspective, use your discernment, because this is going to get quite a bit weird. Because what I'm seeing here again is some kind of modular component that is orbiting in space. But this is linked to going way, way back. And from what I get is I feel like this modular component is very valuable. And I feel like there was some kind of like, it's interesting. When I look at that past energy, we have the Eight of Swords. Now, I don't necessarily have my star card, but I do have my strength, which I do personally, for me, connect very strongly to like Lyran, off-worlders as well. And when I see this, it wouldn't surprise me if there was some kind of a, let's say, ship in the past that did end up here, okay? It did make a crash landing, right? And there's something about a faction, a human, like a government, maybe a military, an undercover faction that is also linked to space programs, I guess I can say. I don't necessarily know if it would be NASA, but let's say space programs, like undercovered ones. And there's something about a component that is very valuable. And this is where I'm almost seeing them. Okay, I'm seeing this vision of like taking a nice old car. You know, when you have something very valuable, it's like I'm being shown an old car, and you take this car and you cover it, you put it in a secret like holding space, you make sure it's all well kept so nobody can damage it. I'm actually getting here that there's something to do with a modular piece that was obtained by certain, let's say, military, maybe, programs that are happening here. And they have put this modular piece in orbit because it wasn't something they were able to use quite yet. It still had the flame, like look at this flame. It still had components, it still had some part of it that was extremely valuable, but in going, because this is going way, way back from what I can see, going way, way back, they didn't yet have what they needed to utilize this piece or this modular piece. And fast forward to today's date, there's something about this crash landing with this so-called meteorite that they're covering up as a meteorite. It wasn't. It was actually, from what I can see, this modular part that was being brought down, and it was deliberately brought down. Now, I'm going to pull a couple cards on it because at first I'm like, okay, did they bring it down to destroy it because of maybe X, Y, and Z? But that's not actually what I get. The energy that I'm getting from the crystal ball too is because I'm seeing, maybe this is to do with then that water, the fish going underground, because I'm seeing a deep underground black hole here. and it was being brought down to harvest or utilize this specific modular, or this component that they had, so-called being stored in orbit. So crazy. Let me know what you guys think. I know that sounds really out there, but that's something that I keep getting very strongly. So let's keep going here. Now, the Nine of Swords too in this outcome could represent a lot of the people in Australia that were shaken or like really woken up during this big boom. But I see this as being kind of rounded up and taken again. So let's keep going. I'm going to pull some more tarot here and see if we can dig a little bit deeper, because this is quite interesting. All right, Spirit, what can you share now? So if we are seeing this correctly, and there is some kind of a component that was orbiting and brought down by a certain, let's say, government or secret faction here, more or less, like, it is very much linked to like aerospace programs. Okay, I will say that. What's the energy of this specific component? What's next, Spirit? What can you share with this specific component and what the energy is? Because I keep seeing something about going deep down in this black hole here. There's that Strength card again. I feel like this could be linked now, not linked. Okay, let me clarify. I feel like the individuals are they're part of some kind of aerospace program or covert operation, but they're dealing with some kind of off-worlding technology. That's what I get. And I do think it could be very much linked to a Lyran background or a Lyran energy. Queen of Cups, there's that water again. Water again. Nine of Pentacles. Three of Wands, Ace of Wands. Five of Pentacles in the back of the deck is Judgment. Now, again, the Strength is all about controlled movement. So I do think that they are handling this specific individual piece this specific piece that came down here. And the Nine of Pentacles does show it is a very high valuable item here. So I do think that they've been successful at looking to contain this item. And then with that Queen of Cups energy, this is a card of like feeling into the energies as well. And if we look at this is like a deep observation of looking at what they have in this moment. And I do think there are plans to extract and to use this for new technology that will be very much highly advanced. However, we do have the Five of Pentacles because, again, I don't think this is in the best of hands, let's say. And when we look at the Three of Wands, the Ace of Wands does show some kind of a successful extraction. It's or maybe even like a new development on how they can use this technology, because in the past I don't think they had the key components to do much with it, which is why it's been just sitting in orbit for, I would even say, decades with this energy. But what I can say here is, like, even though there is a little bit of, yes, like a success that they have, it does look like there's some brick walls that are hit here with that Five of Pentacles. So if they are looking to, let's say, replicate this piece and use it for their hidden agendas, it does look like somehow there is some kind of a stop to that, or they're not able to be successful with that, because we also have that Judgment with that Five of Pentacles here. So I do still think that there are limits that they'll hit when it comes to this, and there could create like a bit of frustration within those certain divisions. So this is quite wild, you guys, quite wild. Let me know what you guys think, but that's kind of the energy I was getting there. Are there any other questions we can kind of wrap up with this? I feel like I could probably go into a full video on this specific topic. I didn't at all think it was going to be this in depth, but I still wanted to look at the other question that I had about the military tribunals. So let's see here. Spirit, can you share? Let's end with a final question on this so-called meteorite. I think I want to ask the question, what can you share, Spirit, when it comes to this technology being utilized for hidden programs and not for the best and highest good of the humanity? Because when we have that whips, I really get that this is something that is not in the greatest hands. But let's confirm and see, Spirit, what there's that iron energy again. Can you confirm what's the overall momentum if we are seeing this correctly and there is some kind of a highly advanced technology or component they are looking to utilize for certain agendas? What can you share about the momentum for that? Let's end there with this question, and who knows, maybe we'll be back again. All right, the Hermit, High Priestess, yeah. There's those governments and institutions working hard. 10 of Cups, interesting. 10 of Cups, Lyran energy again, and we have the Moon. There's definitely a lot of secrecy when it comes to this technology that I'm seeing. Can I get another card? Is there anything that we need to be looking at deeper, Spirit? The Hunter and the Village. All right, so I do think that this technology could very much be used at some point in the future for humanitarian projects, but I do think there's a lot of secrecy and things happening beneath the surface, and something very big, or I can say very prominent, is coming up. Is it feels like there could be underground factions, especially, look at this, we have the Village, but if you look at this is looking at that underground, and what I'm seeing in the crystal ball looks very similar to the shape of this underground. Could be underneath mountains or certain powerful ley lines too, but certain factions that are also underground, you guys. It feels like this technology could be utilized to fully be a power core and create limitless energy systems for underground bases and military infrastructure. So that's something that's coming out here. So I do think this is going to be something they're going to be wasting no time on using, because they've waited a long time to utilize this specific module or technology. It does feel very off-worlding, the energy, or I mean the technology that is currently being held. But say as of now, I see this as being very like hush hush, and them holding it quietly in hidden locations, potentially underground, when we look at this energy. But looking at the outcome, it does look like still a positive energy. So I do think after some time does pass, there is a dead end that they hit. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we have the Gnosis, but underneath that, we also have the dead end. So there is something very valuable and very off-worlding, in terms of like off-world technology. I feel like that is incorporated with this situation happening in Australia. But they're only going to be able to utilize it up until a certain part, or a certain point, I guess I should say. And then there is an energy of this being flipped. Okay. So that's what I could share with you there, you guys. That was a bit of a wild ride and not something I at all expected to come out. But look at that. We also have that mass. So I do think right now the energy of whoever has this, if this is what's happening, I don't think it's in the best hands. But again, there does seem to be some kind of a limitation or dead end that they'll have with being able to utilize this off-rolling technology. Okay, very interesting. Look at those cards, wanted to fly out again. I feel like there could be, as we say, like the white hats, the off-worlding that are hunting and trying to work behind the scenes when it comes to this specific situation. Look at that. There's my Archangel Michael card as well. Divine energy and synchronicity as well. So even though this may necessarily be a little bit of a strange reading, you guys, I do think that there is a lot of like things that are happening to counteract this situation. I don't know. That was wild. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe we'll even do a bit of another video on this, or a part 2. But let's wrap up and move over to part 2 of our second viewer's topic here. All right, so I've had a few questions on this topic regarding military tribunals as well. So I thought we would pull some tarot on it and see what's coming out, Spirit. What can you share when it comes to military tribunals? Oh, look at that. We've got the dead end and the hunter. Let's get one more. And the Anima Monday. Okay. And let's pull some tarot. What can you share, Spirit? The question I had here was, can you do a reading on, will the military tribunals happen? What can you share? Can you share, Spirit, when it comes to the overall energy of military tribunals? Oh, wow. I do think some of them are already happening with this energy. I'm going to close my door one moment, or my window. All right. All right. So when we look at this, you guys, and that question, will they happen? From my perspective, what we got from the tarot today is showing that they are already actually happening now. But from what I can see, they're very much behind the scenes. They're not in public. And if we kind of dissect, look at this energy. So we have the Anima Monday. That's all that is. And I do think when we're looking at these tribunals, this is representing them touching many layers. This is corporate. This is military, governments. There's lots of layers underneath this. And it's taking one person down sometimes can expose an entire network. So it has to be very much, behind the scenes in this moment, from what I can see. I do strongly think, you guys, there will absolutely be accountability here. We have the judgment, and this is happening regarding the tribunals, and we have the situation, which is that tower moment. So many are falling right now, and it's been going on for a little while here. This is a very slow moving card. So this is showing a lot of these things, again, are happening behind the scenes. They are being hunted. They are being very much, there's a lot of calculations, and we have a dead end with accountability happening here. But again, with this slow moving card, it has to be slow. It has to be calculated, because any potential leaks could really risk or sabotage the case. And again, just even one individual can take down certain networks. So everything seems like, with this card, everything is interwoven and everything is connected. But lots of things happening behind the scenes now. Now, the Two of Pentacles, as the outcome does show, they're trying to balance the truth with stability, because they don't want to push or cause public panic or a total collapse, because we do have that tower moment. I think there's a lot of shocking things, you guys, that so many people have their eyes closed, and there's still a lot of sanitation when it comes to what's really happening here. But yes, I do see them happening with this energy. I see them actually happening behind the scenes now, and I do think there will be justice, there will be takedowns, imprisonments. It's a dead end for them here. Okay, so I guess we can kind of also ask the question, if we shift to will these be public, or will they be announced or visible in or televised? Okay, so let's ask that specific question, see what's coming up. What can you share, Spirit, when it comes to the tribunals? What can you share when it comes to the tribunals? Will these be publicized? Will they be televised? I guess I should say, and open publicly. Six of Wands, Three of Pentacles. Interesting. Wow. Ace of Cups.
Wow. Okay, look at all. So I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a drawn out process, to be honest, you guys. Will we have the truth? Will we know the truth in terms of the public? Yes, but I am getting a bit of a curated answer at the moment. So what I mean by that is when I look at this, it feels like it's, especially with the Seven of Cups on the back of the deck, it does show there are certain collaborations behind the scenes that narrate what is going to be public and what is not. So again, I don't feel like it's going to be, yeah, okay, look at this, the Ace of Cups. It's like a drip feed of truth. It's not like the full open blown truth about what's really happening too, because I think there's that argument with this Ten of Pentacles, and with what I'm seeing is they're going to justify it as saying full exposure would collapse all the governments, the economies, and public trust in everyone all at once. So they're going to offer a drip feed or a curated narrative story when it comes to some of the public tribunals. Now, they are happening from what I can see behind the scenes, but many of them are still going to be done in secrecy. Some will be open to the public though. But I still think, you guys, look at the Three of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. This could be like the truth is going to take a couple years, up to 3 years, to fully like surface and come out to its complete like authentic truth here. So quite interesting. There's really just too much collaboration behind the scenes with that Three of Pentacles and the Three of Wands too. It's really showing they're planning the scenes and deciding what will be revealed and what may still stay hidden underneath the layers. So again, I'm feeling like a little bit of a curated show or a narrative when it comes to this. So let me know what you guys think about that. Now, I think I'm just going to pull a final tarot card spread on the question then, will humanity have an idea of all the awful, let's say, crimes of humanity and things that have happened behind the scenes for so very long? Again, we have that dead end. They are at a dead end, you guys. But is it accurate to say that the collective will see or know the truths within the next 1 to 3 years? A lot of momentum still moving forward over the next couple years when it comes to bigger disclosures and really having a deeper understanding of all these awful things that have happened. So are we accurate on the current energy and this timeline of seeing more exposure and the full truth? I'm not talking like curated truth from the media. Will the collective have full knowledge of the truth when it comes to over the next 1 to 3 years? What can you share? Justice. Look at that, you guys. Justice against the devil. Look at that. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, and yes, the Chariot. So it could be more even like the next 1 to 2 years is where we see more disclosure on these certain awful situations that have been happening. Again, a lot of them do happen behind the scenes. And I do think that there will be, like, remember we had the Six of Swords as well, or sorry, Six of Wands in this area, or in this position from the last spread. It's what I keep getting to is like, I do think there is going to be certain like curated stories pushed, but they're going to be focused as big wins as well. But when it comes to these secrets, look at that past energy. The secrets that have been held will come out and people will know them. Okay. There is justice absolutely here. Absolutely, you guys, but it's still going to take a little bit more time. I would love to say a show is going to end in 2025. I have to say, I don't fully see that. I still think things are going to take a bit more time, you guys, when it comes to disclosures and really knowing the deep truths of how deep these networks really run. So
I would say over the next 2 years, we're going to still see a lot of pulling out those weeds and dusting ourselves off and seeing pretty big exposures, okay? So let me know what you guys think, if you guys have questions or want me to touch base on any other specific topics. But as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. And I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you guys are. And until next time, bye for now, lovely souls.